Only one, huh? Huh? Okay. 3, 12, 16, 20, 21, 23, not losing the count, 31, okay, 36, all right, nice. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you want to do a formal intro or I begin it myself? Don't worry. Huh? Okay, very good. How many of you, yeah, okay. How many of you are in the patent departments of your organizations who are exposed to the patenting process? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, 6, right. How many of you describe yourself, how many of you figured as applicants or inventors in patent application? Is there anyone? Wow, that's nice, good. Then I'm going to pick you for special attention. That's nice actually. Okay, good. What is your discipline? Sit down and speak, huh? Pharmacy, okay, right. That will be my next question. How many of you are from pharma industry? I know that's quite a lot actually. All right. How many of you are from IT industry? 1, that's a very low number. This is unusual actually. Thank you. How many of you describe you can fit in more than one discipline now I am talking about, right? How many of you describe yourself as pure scientists? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, nice, okay, 6, 7, that's good, okay. How many of you lawyers? Finance people, 1, 2, 3, okay, you belong to more than one. And what do you do actually? Law, good. 5-year or 3-year? 5-year. From where? Okay, that's a good college. I've been there too actually. That's nice. Where are you from? Which university? Alliance. Okay, good. All right, I'm just trying to understand my target audience. That's all about it. How many of you describe yourself as teachers? Is there anyone? Okay, there is one. Nice, okay. I think I also fit in that. You know, when the question is put to me, I also raise my hand actually. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Nice being you with the all. But actually I find the number thinning. Earlier our course used to have a little more, maybe tomorrow, you know, things get better actually. All right. Now, there are actually 2 types of teachers. One, who try to give you essential, basic, up-to-date information, which I think is very, very important. You know, if someone is a teacher, isn't that right? Giving accurate, up-to-date, essential information. The second type of teachers try to help you to do things with what you have learnt. You understand what I'm saying? There are 2 types of things. One is being informed, knowledgeable on the topic. Second is being able to solve practical problems that one faces in their day-to-day life. Okay. Now, let me try and say that, you know, of late I try to get into that second category. You understand what I'm saying? My business is here to impart skills, not so much essential, up-to-date information actually. The difficult thing about skill transmission is that unless you participate, there's no way one can transfer your skills actually. You understand what I'm trying to say? Eh? So, I always say 2 rules apply in my class. I'm not so much a democrat when it comes to learning, okay. I generally set my rules and declare it well in advance and ensure the rules are fair and it will be fairly implemented. Okay, that's no doubt about that. At least as far as in my personal assessment, that's what I... Okay, now, 2 rules I said apply in my class. 1, anytime you like, you stop me and feel free to ask a question. Don't have to wait for the end of the presentation. Many times I don't finish the presentation, okay. It's there in the PowerPoint and you can upload it, see it, read it at your leisure, okay. You can ask me any question, any time. You can, just to break my monotony of voice, please feel free to do. Okay, huh? 2. Anytime I want, I can ask any one of you a question. Is that understood? Okay. When I ask you a question, you have to have an answer. I don't mind it being a wrong answer, because wrong answers can be corrected. Okay. But giving no answer is the worst thing. That is unacceptable. Okay, because I told you that in the skill transmission process, what is important is that you must participate. That is the basic rule of the game. And now let me get on with my PowerPoint. Let me begin with some voice cracks. Okay. The first one is Rabindranath Tagore, the doyen of Indian literature, right? Nobel Prize Peace Awardee, right? Well, no, literature, he was given that. This is a verse from Gitanjali. How many of you are Bengalis here? Good, you know. Yeah, I'm sure that, yeah. How many of you have heard about this earlier? Where the knowledge is free, into the heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. Is the knowledge free for you here? No. I think you have paid a fee for it. Huh? When I come and impart knowledge, once or twice I would like to do it free. Huh? I do that also, to be very honest actually. Okay. Maybe Government Law College, Mumbai, will probably do that, because they may not have any allowance for the teacher. Huh? They may probably give you a memento and be done with that actually. Okay. But nowhere knowledge is free. I want you to understand that. If the knowledge is free, why are you studying patent law here? What is the purpose of patent law? The purpose of patent law is to get a commercial monopoly over your own invention. Then, a drug which would otherwise be costing 20 rupees, if there is no patent protection, you can't sell it for 400 rupees. Isn't it? So, I always say, when I started in the law school, one of my teachers from Bengal used to say, here comes the contradiction in terms man. What do you mean by that? Monday to Friday, I am a patent or an IP lawyer. I help people to secure commercial monopolies here. Huh? I enforce them. And whenever my people violate the so-called IP monopoly of others, I help them. So, I am definitely in the business of monopolizing knowledge. You know, however insignificant part that I may be, you understand what I am saying? I mean, nobody consults a patent attorney when they launch a product. You understand? Nobody. You may have about 2,000 patents and only about 200 you may work in your organization, right? Nobody bothers about that. Now, what I am trying to tell you here is, Friday and Saturday, this time it has become a Friday, I become a teacher and try to share the knowledge, you know, without any discrimination. So actually we end up doing two contradictory things actually. The second thing I always tell you is that this is another man who had the maximum number of patents, right? Thomas Alva Edison. And he said, owning a patent is like owning an elephant. You know what it means? You need about 4,000 feet of land for the elephant itself. 2 people to take care of it on a regular basis. Give 10 kilos. Forest Department has recommended that elephant in captivity must be compulsorily fed this. About 7 to 9 kilos of rice, 5 to 6 kilos of germinated legumes, 3 or 4 kilos of jaggery, and 250 kilos of vegetable matter actually. You know what it adds up to? Quite a lot. Right? So unless, if you have an elephant and if you are not able to feed it, somebody like Maneka Gandhi will sue you to cruelty towards animal. And I'll support her. You understand? You have no business to keep one if you can't feed it. Like, you know, at least let it roam in forest and do whatever it likes. It knows how to find its food. Okay, 3. That's mine actually. Yeah. Now, how many lectures you have had on patenting so far? First session. That was on? Into all four together, Okay. Then I'm sure I don't want to unwittingly touch upon areas, which has been covered by other teachers. But nevertheless, I am going to be a skill-driven man, and so my presentation will surely be different from what you heard, even if it means you have heard that. Now, you are in the patent department, right? How does what do you work? But don't worry, I'm not going to ask your company secrets or anything like that here. What your company is working, and in fact there are no secrets. Anybody who follows the industry, we know what is happening with each company, okay? What are the underspending, what is under challenge, Everybody knows everything actually. In English language, in Tamil language, there is a proverb. If you fart under the water, it will bubble over the surface automatically, okay? It's not going to be a big secret all through actually, okay? Now, how does your average day begins and what do you do? Just tell me that. No, when your average working day. In the company, yeah. Oh, okay, I know them well here. I am in fact associated well. I know what you do actually. All the more reason. Okay, I definitely know what you do. Okay. Good. How does that day begin with you? Begins with what?
Depending on the project. What was the project you got?
I'll go to the inventor this time. Sit down. When you come up, what was your invention on? Process for? A new process for making a molecule which is known. Okay. Did you meet your patent agent yourself? No. Okay, so you communicated to your senior in charge, right? Hey, I've come up with a new process. You know what is it called in the patent law jargon? It's called an invention disclosure. That is the starting point of a patent professional's life. Okay. For you to get your, not everything you say, yeah, I've come up with something new, is going to be accepted by your boss, isn't it? That's the normal life of everyone actually, okay? In fact, all the bosses in India have a healthy distrust for the capabilities of their colleagues, right? That's how an average Indian work spot is actually. Okay, you begin with an invention disclosure. The quality of the patent depends on the quality of the invention disclosure. This is the starting point of patent jurisprudence. Okay, so as a lawyer, whose duty is to understand facts? Is it the duty of the client to disclose it to you properly, or is it your job to find it out? Wrong. This is something that I want you to unlearn. In fact, a client doesn't know what is going to win his case. And I occasionally do matrimonial cases also. They speak, and very many times I find life is no different for most actually, right? And if they tell me 100 facts, about 90 are simply irrelevant. Your first job is to weed out the irrelevant fact. Then 10 facts are relevant. In the 10 relevant facts, 5 facts will be inadmissible in law. You understand what I'm saying? There are very serious rules of evidence that says only relevant facts must be admitted in evidence. So, out of 100, 95 goes. Only 5 facts you think are relevant. In that, 2 facts are in your client's favor and 3 are against you. But the 2 facts that you have, the probative value of the 2 facts that you think are important is more than the 3 facts that we are talking about. So you win the case. You understand what I am saying? So the first job of a lawyer is to find out the fact. Weed out the irrelevant one. Take the relevant one. Afterwards, try and see how much of it can be proved and how much of the fact can win you the case. Okay, so it is the job of a patent department people to put in place a system to ensure that everybody makes a good invention disclosure. That is the starting point. Now, I am used to the people telling me that, I want to build up an impressive portfolio of patents. This is the catchword now, right? I always say you cannot pull up a rabbit from thin air. The quality of the patent is going to depend on the quality of the invention disclosure which is generated. And the biggest challenge that most of us faces, if you believe a Chinese proverb, even the stupidest idiot will be capable of 300 very bright ideas in his lifetime. I'm talking about the stupidest guy. So ideas are plenty, right? Not all ideas are really worth it actually, okay? So, first job is, number 1, how to identify the inventions that originate in your workplace. The second job, how to harvest the inventions that has been generated in your workplace. 100 invention disclosures are there, but about 60, do you think that suppose we are going to have driverless cars in India, how many years it will take for you? Electric cars. I mean, now you are having parts of Sweden, the road is having a mechanism to charge the bus, right? What I'm trying to tell you is a patent monopoly is 20 years, but for 20 years you will never have a, driverless car in India. So even though your invention is a good invention, the regulatory policies let your company think, come on here, I can't take advantage of the global market. It's not our cup of tea. It doesn't fit in my scheme of commerce. So therefore we will not apply for a patent. Legitimate decision. We don't have to be upset about it. You understand what I'm saying? Then the next one is, when you make an invention disclosure, I'll talk about it in the next section in detail, but my problem first is, when somebody gives an invention disclosure, you are going to decide whether to apply for a patent or not, isn't it? Now, first you apply is the Nance test. Novelty, utility, statutory subject matter, non-obviousness. Okay, NUNS. If any one of these 4 criteria is missing, then it is not patentable. I can't give you a patent because I like your face and refuse him a patent because I don't like it. You understand? That's not the way it is done. That is what I call as favoritism, nepotism. But here a monopoly is given on strong economic grounds. For you to qualify for a patent, it must have number 1, novelty, number 2, utility, number 3, non-obviousness, and number 4, statutory subject matter. Now, novelty. How do you assess novelty? In fact, when I got into the profession, is a bloody stupid, boring job. Nobody goes into a library unless we were compelled to do, right? And that too a library which has never been visited by humans. Nobody looks up a patent. Have you ever read a patent specification? Except yours? That's bad. You understand? If I were you, if I were an inventor, I would have, or if I were you, somebody in your office, I would have said, look for similar molecule, similar processes, see how they had written it, and thereafter, anyway, that's cool. I'm trying to point out, we are all new to this patenting game. It is, I always say, patent in India today is like cricket in India during 1960s. Indian team will never won a match. If we had drawn it, we would think it's a great victory. Honestly, I'm telling you. But that is before IPL. Now the IPL has made India, we have won 7 series against West Indies, the strongest. West Indies team means if there is no innings defeat, we are happy. When we were all students actually, okay. So the patenting in India is like cricketing in India during 1960. It is still in infancy. You understand what I'm saying? Not many lawyers know the distinction between patent, trademark, copyright and design. Economic Times reported penny has been patented. And I thought, how come penny they can patent it? Because it came to Goa along with the Portuguese. And what that guy meant is he got a geographical indicator. When people don't really understand the distinction from one another, and I have known lawyers coming and telling me, sir, my client has got a brand. Why don't you patent it for him? I tell him, no man, for a brand you can only get a trademark. You can't get a patent. You see, these are what I am talking about, People make the mistake. The IPR culture in our country is still in its infancy. You understand what I am saying? You don't take it for sure that guy really understood you. I verify if he had understood me. You understand what I am saying? Until we do it, we are gone. We don't justify our position. Okay? And let me tell you again, patenting is about 80 to 90% of science and technology and just about 10% of law. It is easy for you to pick up 10% of law. It is impossible for me to pick up the 90% of technology. Because the first day I work on a pharma patent, next day a mechanical engineering patent, third day telecommunication patent, fourth day we don't know what we work on. Whatever comes, chalo, one more day. Let's try to, I always have domain people with me to ask questions and understand, and we work as a team. And one more. Patenting is more like playing football. It's not like swimming or tennis. You understand, there is, of course, a lot of scope for individual improvisations and, being the cynosure of the eye for the day. Okay, the next day the whole thing changes, right? First day somebody scores a century, he is the hero. Next day somebody scores a 2 century, he becomes the hero. The third day a bowler takes 7 wickets and he becomes the hero. You understand what I am saying? And each one is very important for winning a match. Okay. So the first thing we try to do is do this novelty search. How do you do the novelty search now? I'm sure you have databases, right? I don't even bother anything. Do it, Google it here. That is the easiest and simple actually. Instead of going to paid databases, which you must do for the kind of bills you give it to the client. Well, I just Google it, that's all. Good enough. See, I want you to understand one very important skill-related issue here. Remember this. Novelty is lost in 2 situations. The first situation is prior claiming. What do you think as your invention has already been claimed by someone else in their patent? The second is prior public use. If the product in question is available in the market, do you know how your mobile phone works? No. So long as it works for me, it is fine. Isn't it? But there will be 1 in a million customer who likes to know how it works, and for that purpose he might be willing to break the mobile. But you know, Apple iPad and the phones come in an unbreakable or unopenable case. You understand? Only for changing batteries you can open it actually. So everybody has a right to do a reverse engineering. And if they can do the reverse engineering, that's it actually. They can find the technology. So prior claiming defeats novelty, and prior public use defeats novelty. Prior publication also defeats novelty. Okay. Now, the next thing is utility. Utility means an invention is capable of commercial application. What do you mean by commercial application? Industrial application. Industrial application is one where it produces the same result every time subject to NTP and STP. What is that? Normal temperature and pressure and standard temperature and pressure. Subject to that, if something has to be an industrial process, it has to produce the same result every time. That's not like Sachin or Virat Kohli going to bat. One ball will be short of length. That ball he will hit it in square leg. The next ball he will get onto the front and hit it over long on also. That's not industrial process. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't produce the same result every time. For it to qualify as an industrial process, it must to produce the same result every time. And the next is inventive step. This is actually a very funny thing actually. What is inventive step? Look here. There are a lot of people who will never attempt something if they know it is difficult. You understand? I always ask many people, how many of you really try an IIT exam? Not many. Hey, it's not worth it here. That's what my son used to say. Hey, if I have to just miss the whole thing, and I mean, maybe you understand what I'm saying. Many people don't do it because it is difficult. But a lot of people would like to find an easy way of doing it. You understand? You know, what is the first principle in human resources? If you want to solve the best problem, give the job to the easiest man, laziest man. Because he will find an easy method of doing it. You understand what I am saying? He'll have to eat, otherwise he is not game for that. So many people will try. And when they try, they don't always succeed. And some people succeed when they try. Now, if that can be solved by a person skilled in the art, then there is no inventive step. You understand what I am saying? I'll now give you some illustration. When I say that inventive step, please remember, simplicity of the invention is no bar towards patentability. Just because the invention is simple doesn't mean that it will not qualify for a patent. In fact, some of the best inventions are very simple inventions. Okay. Only then the technology diffuses itself very well actually. For example, have you seen this? You know what is that in the Starbucks coffee cup, right? Do you think it is patentable? Yeah? Speak loud, lady. It's a patented one. I'm asking you whether there is an inventive step in it. No, it's not that. That's not the, here you have not identified the invention carefully. There is nothing about the closure that I am talking about actually, the top lid. What I am talking about is the bottom collar. Yeah. No, it's not holding alone. Please, that is why I'm wanting you to identify the invention carefully. Very simple problem here. Earlier, how were you drinking coffees? Glass. Okay. Now, usually, after your glass is used, the guy, some kid, usually a child labor in some of the very poorly developed states, not in Tamil Nadu or Kerala maybe, one guy will take 5 glasses in one glass like this, another 5 into this, he'll dip into a bucket of water, empty it. The next one, another. If it is a good establishment, bad establishment, one is good enough actually. Right? And he wouldn't even drain it. If you had studied science, you know 1 drop of water is enough to make you life miserable for the rest of your life, you know. Salmonella infection, if you pick once, it's going to stay with you for rest of your lifetime. Right? So that bugs you. You know, even before you drink your coffee, one of my standard instructions is, hey man, do this. And if possible, wash it in the boiling water. But sometimes they'll say, come on, no coffee for you. If I do this, push it too hard, right? If you want, drink the coffee I give, in the cup I give. That's what you call as a seller's monopoly. Now it's gradually going. There's a different law for that. I don't want to. Now what this guy did is, Starbucks guys came up with this biodegradable plastic. There's also a material there. You crush it and throw it. In 30 days, that will disintegrate and become part of the normal elements. But the problem with this biodegradable plastic is, it is a very good conductor of heat. And you would like to drink your coffee hot. So if he gives you a hot coffee, you can't hold it. So he comes up with a cardboard sleeve, which is a non-conductor of heat. So you drink your coffee, throw it away, those guys will just remove that part and then crush the... So this proved to be a good invention. You understand what it was? A good patent. A patent which is work. The patent that got the inventor... Acha, did you get any kind of appreciation, money or something like that for having a... Tell them that they should put in place a policy. Okay, never mind. Which is normally done. If your invention disclosure is accepted for making a patent, you get a $500 gift, $1,000 gift, or whatever. You understand? You always get it actually. Anyway, now, let me ask you something. Here. You see 3 of them. Imagine you see it for the first time in your life. I know that you have seen it. First challenge is identifying the invention. That is where I was trying to tell you that it did not relate to the lid. It related to the bottom. So now I am trying to give you some exercises on how to identify the invention. Is there any invention in these 3 things which you see? No invention? If there is an invention, what is it? Only one invention? Hey, it shouldn't take so much of time. Tap, you should give an answer. Then you, is there any invention there? Okay, is there any invention there? Quick. Handle is one invention. Is there anything else? Pout is another invention. Is there any other invention? Lid is the 3rd one. That is, you do have no clue about the material now. Do you have any clue about it? At least the 2nd one you will know it is a ceramic. First one, 2nd one, what do you know? It can be made of anything. Okay, that is going, but the point I am trying is just very quick here. 3 inventions are there. One is a handle, the next is the lid, 3rd is the pout. will it qualify for a patent? Will it qualify for a patent? No. If the person skilled in the art is a vessel designer, if you go to a vessel designer and say, look here, I want people to carry the jug easily, he'll come up with a handle. You tell them that I want people to pour things without spilling. He'll come up with a pout. And it should not spill when I walk past. He'll come up with a lid. It's only the different thing. So, all the three things that you see here are persons skilled in the art will be able to find out with a little bit of trial and experimentation. Okay, then there is no patent. Now what about this? Yes, lawyers, all three, right? You are not one. Okay. Nevertheless, it's just, first I ask the lawyer, tell me, is it patentable? Huh? Is it patentable? No. Why is it patentable? Array, in the last thing, I showed you one pout like this. What I am doing is, I am making two pouts. What is big deal about it? Where is the new technology? Something is known. You are wearing one shirt. Over that you wear another shirt. Or you wear a half sleeves, and over that you wear a full sleeves. What's the big deal in that? Now let's see, this is the, please remember, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. When Duryodhana was asked to find a good fellow, he can't do it. And when Yudhishthira was asked to find a bad fellow, he can't do it, right? You know Mahabharata, right? So, if I am in the patent office, everything is not patentable. If I am the attorney, if you have the money, everything is patentable. Isn't it? I mean, see, I can't demoralize the inventors. If the inventors come and say, I have an invention, 1 out of 5 times I should say, hey, good, yeah, let's try. Otherwise you will never come to me again, right? It's very simple. Why waste the time with this guy here? He's going to say how simple, how ordinary it is, huh? Isn't it? Okay. Now, is it patentable? No. Unless you are able to say, look here, there is an internal partition. She wants tea and she wants coffee. Instead of carrying 2 jars, I carry one. One part has what do you call? Coffee, another part has tea. Does it become patentable now? See, you see how the dividing line is getting very, very thin. Projection. You know, what a patent agent must know is how to project his invention in relation to the prior art, in relation to the problem which is faced, in relation to the problem that you solve. And if your problem solving reduces human effort, increases efficiency, why not? You understand? You know, had you been an Indian inventor and gone to your boss with the invention like the Starbucks coffee, sure that fellow will reject it. You understand? That's not the way that, you know, you understand. But Starbucks will go up to the patent appeal to get this patent granted in their favor actually. Okay. Now what about this? Is this patentable? Lady, you. Is this patentable? No. Why not? On the other hand, you can ask one more question. Does a cup of this size need a handle at all here? No need. It has one handle is all right. 2 handle. Total waste of materials, you know. But look at the target group is autistic children with neuromuscular difficulties. For them, this is useful. Now, I'm trying to only tell you again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You can project it as patentable, you can project it as non-patentable, depending upon if you are the patentee or the infringer. What's the big deal about it? Okay, if I do it, it's wonderful. If you do it, it's normal, right? Huh? That's a human nature again. So how to project your invention is something that you should know very well. Okay. Now, please read this. Actually, I'm going to read this quickly, 1 minute time, and after you finish, if you had read it, reread it. I'm going to ask you questions based on this. Lady, you. Read it? Read it again. 1 minute I ask you to read everyone. Now my question is, identify the most frivolous invention you have ever seen in your life. Frivolous. There is one word there, right? What do you mean by frivolous? Frivolous, right? We must have heard about it many times. Surely you are not hearing it for the first time from me, right? I am asking you, what is your discipline? You are also a farmer. Huh? Law, okay, all the more reason. Most of our lectures are very frivolous, right? Huh? What is a frivolous invention? Have you seen a frivolous invention? I'll tell you one instance. I went to Japan for some reason. I went to the toilet and I found the toilet seat to be different from the ones I've ever seen anywhere in the world. And I found that there is a remote also in the toilet. Usually you would think that it is for the air conditioner or fan or whatever it is. But I found that the toilet seat, on close examination, I found that there are specially positioned water jets in the rim. Okay. And that remote is for controlling the temperature of the water and the position of the nozzles. Okay. Summer, you can put it at 40 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius. Winter, you can keep it at comfortable 25 degrees Celsius, right? And after do that, hands free, right? And you press another button, warm air gushes for about 120 seconds to 90 seconds. For me, a person who goes from a country where about 50% of the people don't have access to toilets. You understand what I'm saying? Eh? How does it look for me? I am a thoroughly out and out a rural guy. I happen to live in the city for the last several years due to various reasons. But then I asked that guy, Arey, have there been any cases of people burning themselves? He said, don't worry, sir. Our thermostat ensures that it doesn't get beyond this temperature. He has thought about it. You understand what I'm saying? Eh? I thought it was a frivolous invention. And I found out that it was a very successful commode patent. You understand? I mean, for us and many of the hotels were dismantling their existing commodes to ensure that they have one experience like this. Okay, so that is a frivolous invention. What about this here? You drink beer, buddy? Okay, good. Then is that a good invention? See, the problem is you want a beer in a beach, Goan beach, 35 degrees Celsius. Beer temperature should be around 7 to 12 degrees. He gives it to you at about 10 degrees. 1 hour of exposure, it becomes 35 degrees. What about a container for this? Is it patentable? Huh? No. Because, no, not because it is frivolous. You use an umbrella to protect yourself from heat. Now you are using it to protect the beer. Where is the invention? You understand what I am saying? Now, you know what is that? You know what is it called? It's a very successful patent. Dimple drill. Have you ever felt special because you have a dimple? You do. But I have never felt that not having one is a disability for me. Isn't it? Now, suppose you don't have natural dimples and you feel bad about it. Okay? You can have this dimple drill. Okay? You know what do they do? The dimple producing device has rounded tip made of either ivory, marble or India rubber. To produce the dimple, simply press the dimple drills. it comes with a product liability warning. If you do it too hard, you will end up with a hole in the palate. And believe me, this is a patent. You understand what I am trying to tell you. And there is an interesting site called Weird Patents. If you go to that, you will see all these kind of patents actually. Okay? Right. Now. Yes, I think I have finished here. This row here. Read this carefully, 1 minute. I am going to ask you a string of questions and read it, reread it, understand it. Don't just browse it, You understand, that's a problem with, you can't say I eat through the nose and thereafter say just 1 inch below the nose. That's very important. Your knowledge must be essential, up to date, thorough. There is no mistake on that. An invention, the primary or intended use, commercial exploitation of which will be contrary to public order, morality, causes serious prejudice to human, animal or plant life, or to the environment, then it will not be patentable. A very interesting thing came. For the artificial insemination of cows, and most of the sperms come from a British company. Actually, you must have known that Ongole bull, was purchased for about 2 crores. Nobody cares for so much here actually. Yeah? We are now going into the Friesian cattle, Holstein, Friesian, Jerseys, blah, 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 and all that actually. Now, if you are how many of you have cows in your house? Or had? You had? When the cow is pregnant, when it gives birth to a calf, what would be the preferred sex of the calf? Female. Unlike the human race, right? But if you leave it to natural process, there will be 50 male calves and 50 female calves. But if you buy this, what do you call? You know how it is very simple, XX chromosome, XY chromosome, and they ensure that only the sperms that has XX is there, so that you will only get in other words, sex selection. Can you do it in humans? It's an offense. If a doctor helps you to find out the sex of your baby through the sound scan, it's an offense. I have known doctors who have been convicted in Haryana for that actually. Okay. So here, you get a technology where the real, and what you apply to cows, you can apply to humans also. There are a lot of people who have had 3 girls. They still get pregnant with a hope. There are 1 more boy. Why can't you help them with this kind of technologies? You understand what I'm saying? It's perfectly right in USA. In USA, it is perfectly legal for a doctor to tell, a gynec can tell you what is the sex of your baby. It's not at all a big secret. Here the problem is, if they do it, they go on an abortion. So you prohibit the doctor from doing it. You understand? I'm not blaming the Indian law. I'm only saying, so that is a kind, these are all the challenges that the technology poses. So have you read it? Now I will tell you currency copier. Private assassination of somebody, poisoning, and I'll tell you 3 illustrations. Number 1, this group actually, all 5 of you. You have to react to it. First is to you. You know that Hyderabad police, they have a smart patrol cars. They come up with radar guns. They have a breath analyzer. You understand, you know. So you earlier when you violate a speed limit, you can argue with the cop. Hey, I was only traveling at 70 kilometers. I'm a lawyer, man. What do you think? Sir, you are a lawyer? Here is your car, sir. You are sitting there, sir, and he will show the screen. The radar will give 93.6789 kilometer. Very simple technology. All moving objects emanate sound waves. The differentials will be used for the purpose of calculating the object speed. Now I come up with a radar jamming gun and I keep it in my car. It disturbs the audio signals that emanate from my car, and I fix it in my car, and I'll be able to confuse the radar gun. Is this patentable? Think about it, give me an answer. To you, you know a breath analyzer, you know how it works? How it works? How breath analyzers work? How breath analyzers work, yeah? Form found in your lung. The basic science behind it is just this, yeah. Alcohol is a chemical. When you put a chemical in the body, it will have to be metabolized. Metabolism means absorption and getting it out. When you take alcohol, it is excreted in 3 ways. One is through your sweat, the next is through your piss, and the third is through the breath that goes in. Now alcohol is a chemical. It measures the alcoholic vapors that emanate from your mouth. Alcohol is a chemical. It can be neutralized by other chemical. So I come up with a herbal extract which will neutralize the alcoholic vapors that emanate from my breath. Is it patentable? 3. Who said no? You. Okay, I'll come back to you. I'm just focusing here, but you are quite free. Anybody can quite free to check in. 3. Huh? Can be. 1 and 2 are also patentable. First is not. Okay, right. We'll come back. 3. Most provocative to you both. Huh? Why not? I said it's a provocative illustration. I have told you that the rule is that you must react to my question. Huh? You can't patent it. Okay. You seem to have a strong opinion. I like that actually. Good. You should. 3rd, that is why I call this a provocative question and I'm asking it to the right person. I come up with a drug which will make human beings sexually fertile when they are about 5 years old. Is that patentable? No. Now my question is, how many of you think that the first invention is patentable? The one, radar jamming gun, it is patentable? Don't you think the purpose is to? Contrary to public order. Huh? Oh, very good. See, please remember, the word is primary or intended use. The same technology that the radar jamming device uses can be used by your fighter plane when they fly over enemy territory. So it is. Does it convince you? No problem. Does it prima facie convince you? Huh? Okay, now I come to the next one to you. What about the second one? Is it patentable? The one which neutralizes the alcoholic vapors. I'm going to give you money if you say it is patentable. And you are a lawyer. You will be without a brief throughout your life. Because you must be able to retain the briefs. I'm being a cautious, senior professional to you here. When you get work, you should not miss actually, right? When you say it is patentable, I am up with about 25,000 bucks that day. And because, hey, this is my consultation, right? I'll write a specification for you, okay? And if you say it is not patentable, okay, madam, thank you. Bye. Please, I'm not, but because of that, I will not ask a fellow to inventor to waste his money and realize that his invention is not patentable. That is again professionally incorrect actually. We shouldn't do that, I'm glad. Why is it not patentable? The primary intended use is to get a drunk man sobriety to faster. Why? Getting a drunk man sober is good. When you say it neutralizes the alcohol, what does it mean? That means you haven't understood the invention. When you say it neutralizes the alcohol, what happens? Your drunkenness goes away. So why is it not patentable? Third one, I'm coming to you. You are the most serious objector. Quite, I'm happy, It's very important that we must have strong opinions. Nothing wrong. But now do you change your opinion? No. Even then it is bad. Huh? You are a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian? Vegetarian. Then all the more reason I shouldn't provoke you with this question, but it is just happening actually. Just imagine you are running a cattle ranch or a pig breeding unit. Just imagine for a minute. These are not bad occupations. I don't need both of them, Okay. Then how will you react to this invention? The primary intended use is not for humans and not for mixing it in the public water distribution system. You understand what I am saying? The primary use is to increase the productivity of my dairy farm. So I normally wait for about 3 years for my cows to become pregnant. Now with this, from the 6th month on, they are going to give me that UK sperm, Gives me only female calves. You understand? It is and the same thing can be used for a person to get a male kid also. You understand? If you say it enables the parents to choose the sex of the baby, no. Then the primary intended use will be contrary to public order and morality. If you are able to find at least one good use for the invention, irrespective of how provocative it is patentable. See, I gave you these 3 illustrations essentially because prima facie we will think, whoa, it's not patentable, it jars. But if you are able to, this is what I am again telling you, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Find out one good use here, that's all. And one more thing, let me tell you, third invention will be a multi-billion-dollar invention. You understand what I am saying? Actually, it is noted that all humans, at some point of time in their lives, suffer stages of sexual frigidity. Right? And it is a very important, and that can result to clinical depression. A lot of things that follow one after other. Okay? So, again, let me tell you that it is in the eye of the beholder. Okay. Now, the 3 next. Read this carefully. The one thing I want you to appreciate here is the word mere. What do you understand by the word mere? No, no. No, I am asking you the meaning of the word mere. You are reading me the next word. Well, in patent law, you have to be specific, buddy. Eh? Don't be general and mix. Eh? What is the word understanding mere? What does it mean? Only. You are also mixing the next word. Just that or only that is the meaning of the word. You are mixing either discovery or invention. Don't. Then you are mixing up two things. Patent law is all about specification. Right? Mere. You see here again the mere discovery, mere new use, then a mere admixture, a mere arrangement. You understand what I am saying? This word is repeated several times in what I call as section 3. Okay. Let us, what are you by training? Scientist. And you said you are a pure scientist, right? And what do you do actually?
I work in the
Okay, okay. Right, what is your discipline? Nanomaterial. Fine. That's, in fact, it has a lot of application in nanotechnology. Because something is known, you make it into the smallest form. What is the big deal about it? But the big deal is it produces unexpectedly different results. Isn't it? That's the whole thing of the nanotechnology all about. Now let me ask you one thing. What is your discipline? Pharma. What about you? Pharma. So I begin with her and I'll come back to you. Acetylsalicylic acid. Aspirin, right? How old is this invention? Very old here. But it is one of the big wonder drugs, right? Huh? Wonder drugs. Now, you find later that acetylsalicylic acid was actually invented as a painkiller. Right? Now you find that it reduces the viscosity of the blood. So if you apply it to a guy who is having, what do you call, blocks in the coronary artery, is it patentable? In US it is called a prescription patent. In India it is not. That becomes mere use of a known product. Actually you have, please remember, she invents a knife for her to cut the fruit. I use it for cutting somebody's throat. Is it a fault she invented the knife? I mean, her purpose is for... So originally aspirin was invented as a painkiller. But now you have a new beneficial use. This in India is not patentable. But in US it is patentable. Okay. Now what do they do here? You know what the India will do? What the foreign company wanting to have advantage of the Indian market will do? You know, these hot guys, they always have that one yellow color thing. You know what is that? They always have it here. Sorbitrate. Sorbitrate salt, you know. What is that usual one they have for the hot guys? Sorbitrate only, you know. Anyway, so they have this. And along with that, they will have some acetylsalicylic acid. Then it becomes, employs a new reactant. See, if you have a new use for a known product, and if you employ an additional reactant, then what was originally non-patentable becomes patentable. You understand? This is how it goes in stages actually. Okay. But at the same time, you can't have an extension for changing the color of the pill. For example, sildenafil citrate. Original color is blue, but in India you never get a blue sildenafil citrate. It is red actually. At least that the most popular Ranbaxy brand which Reddy took over, I don't know who it is. Never mind. Here, but please remember, your kid will refuse to have a plaster. But if it has a Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse, the acceptability gets better. You understand what I'm saying? Capsules, see-through capsules, whatever it is. And please remember, they have been some of the greatest to what I call as marketing miracles. You know that calcium sandas? It used to come in a round container. The target audience is pregnant women and children. Now when they were selling it in a cylindrical container, the sales were very nominal. But when they made the container into a teddy bear container, which will also double up as the pencil box or the pen box for the kids had a compulsion to use that, and they took 2 or 3 tablets in a day. You understand what I'm saying? It definitely improves, a substantial improvement in this sale. So sometimes, even a packaging technique. For example, I know one of my friend's brother became a multi-millionaire by a simple, non-patentable idea. Earlier, when I was a kid, a bottle of shampoo will cost about 12 to 15 rupees. And my father will not buy it. You understand what I am saying? He will not. He will say, use this siakai powder, arak, and we were farming people, so we had that, what do you call, green gram, which is ground and it's wonderful for skin actually. Okay. Anyway, this guy came up with the shampoo means when you must be a rich family. You understand what I am saying? Even middle class people will not have shampoos in their house actually. Now this guy, that velvet, he came up with the 50 paise shampoo sachets. That was taken over by Godrej. That one product and the brand. Because every man in every slum started using shampoo 2-3 times a week. So the overall sales of this is actually a non-patentable. So actually what you are talking about is a packaging technique. And the packaging technique had made a very big difference. And this is actually a pharma-specific thing. Salt, esters, ethers, polymers, metabolites, pure form, particle size, nanotechnology, right? Simply because you are going to reduce the size of the particle, it doesn't mean much for a normal person, but the particle size is going to have a very big difference in increasing the bioavailability, absorption, whole lot of things that follow from there actually. Okay, isomer, mixture of isomer, complexes, combination, derivatives of a known substance shall be considered to be the same substance unless they differ significantly in properties. This is actually, if you are a pharma company focused on patent, have 1 day, half a day seminar only on this explanation. You are trying to convince your people because many companies miss a lot of patenting because they don't really comprehend that. Now let me come up with the case, Novartis. Okay, I'm sure that most of you, all of you, now this batch, how many of you are from pharma industry here? One? Only one? What do you do? Mechanical, good, yeah. Still important, yeah. Molecular, what about you? Oh, interesting. There's a lot of scope there actually. These people don't really, pharma. Okay, what about you? Fine. See, the active ingredient here is what? Imatinib. Imatinib is really a wonder drug here. Because 1990 was the time it was invented. Okay. By 93, it received regulatory approval. Usually it takes about 5, 6, 7, 8 years, right? And it received regulatory approval for treating different forms of cancer actually. Okay. The next invention is mesylate. Mesylate salts are known. It is a everybody knows that an active ingredient, for it to be stabilized, it must be either a salt or a base. Right? Salts are more stable. Okay. Then the next improvement is crystalline form. And the next improvement is beta crystalline form. You understand? The actually basic invention is imatinib. The next invention is imatinib mesylate. Third invention is crystalline form of imatinib mesylate. Fourth invention is beta crystalline form of, okay. Now, when you make it into a beta crystalline form, the bioavailability increases by about 30%. Does it increase efficacy? Yeah, actually you are right. A scientist will say it does. I want you one more question. For example, I have a drug. The drug has this side reaction. Namely, I get more irritable. That's what happens to me when I have antibiotics here. I become an intolerable person. So I avoid antibiotics for that reason. When the antibiotic works on me, I snap at everybody. No wonder who is that, no care. Sometimes, it's sad. Okay. Now, let us say, that drug is making me feel very itchy. Okay. The drug is making me feel very drowsy. Now I come up with the formulation, same thing, focus on form, okay. It reduces the drowsiness. It reduces the itchiness. It reduces that aggressiveness. Does it increase efficacy? Does it increase efficacy here? No, you are right. But it increases ease of administration. See, for me, I am a common man here. Common man means if it is better than what it was before, it is more efficacious. But for a scientist, efficacy means the ability of a molecule to cure a particular disability. It has no bearing thereon. A pharmacologist will say it doesn't increase the efficacy. Let us know one more thing. It reduces the cost of production. Does it increase efficacy? If you go by your answer, no again. But it increases the affordability. So the treatment becomes easier. So the Supreme Court had chosen to follow the scientist meaning. But I think this is a very incorrect judgment. You understand what I am saying? As a person involved in science, I am not a scientist by any chance, surely not. Okay. But at the same time, it's a very weird judgment. I think that 30% increase in, I have known Prabha Sridevan well. She's actually a woman of substance. You understand that expression, I always like her. But that, very, very moody, recluse, clean, integrity is beyond dispute, all that. He is an embodiment of all nice qualities that one can see in a human, right? But here I think she is awfully wrong. If something increases the bioavailability by 30%, and you still say it is not efficacious, it's difficult for me to accept it actually. But you know what? This case was handled by judges, many of whom had blood cancer patients in their houses. So imatinib mesylate cost is about 2 lakh. The Cipra equivalent cost is about 2,000 rupees. Whom will you vote for? Then it becomes prejudice driven. It's not law driven. You understand? Then it becomes prejudice driven. Okay. Chalo, but we are all humans. But all what I am trying to point is the issues involved. The next is that. Can you have a look at that? I have asked you, right? Good. Okay. Yeah. You read that? Okay. What is your discipline? Biotechnology. Huh? Organic. Electronic. BCom. Good. Mm-hmm. How come you got interested in patent law? Okay, good. But this commerce, I can understand you're getting interested in copyright law, trademark law. Okay, fine, that's okay. I'm glad you are interested. That's nice. But please remember, for you to be a patent professional, you must develop a scientific bent of mind. I mean, that doesn't mean that we are out. You understand what you are not that. What are you? You are what? The next one. Are you a lawyer? Pharma, okay. The point, two lawyers here and there is one lawyer there. Okay, yeah, fine. Any other lawyer here? No. Fine. See, please understand this. You have read that all substances or elements, compounds, admixtures, vesicles, right? These are the different, what do you call, gradations. If it is an admixture, it is not patentable. What is not patentable is only a mere admixture. In pharmacology, see, let me give you an illustration. 100 grams of ice. What will be the temperature? Ice. 0 degree. Not around. Patent law is all about specification. Even in 5 degrees Celsius minus, it is ice. So it has to be 0. If it is 1 degree, it will be water. Isn't it? 100 grams of salt. What will be the temperature? Hey, speak loud, buddy. I am short of hearing. And you must make sure that people are heard also. Because it's an open class, right? What you say must be heard by the people listening to you there, right? 35 degree. Where do you get that figure? You gone haywire. Just check actually. There is one maximum temperature a day, minimum temperature a day. Usually it will be 3 or 4 degrees more than the minimum temperature. Despite my knowledge of science is about 40 years old actually. What science I read in college has now become obsolete actually. Most of it they say it's all wrong. What I thought was right. So, 0 degree is your ice and 25 degree is your salt. All right, 35 it will not be here. I bet actually $1 million on that. I was trying to tell you, find out what is yesterday's minimum temperature. It will be 3 or 4 degrees more than the minimum. You can verify it later on in your laboratory. Now I am not a science teacher. If I am a science teacher, I would have demonstrated that to you here. Okay, you have a 0 degree substance, 100 grams of salt. You have a 25 degree substance, 100 grams of salt. Put it together. What should be the mean temperature? So you have 200 grams of ice and salt mixture. What do you have? What should be the mean temperature? 12.5 degree? What do you get actually? What do you get? See, please try to understand. 100 grams of ice, 0 degrees Celsius. 100 grams of salt, 25 degrees Celsius. You put both of them together, you get a salt ice mixture. What should be the temperature? If you go by the law of averages, you should be 7.5. What do you actually get? Minus 15 degree. So this is an unexpectedly beneficial quality. You understand what I am saying? Ice alone doesn't disclose this. Salt alone doesn't disclose this. So when you reduce the temperature to so much, this is in pharma parlor, you call it as an antagonistic admixture. Reduces something in a very big way. So this is a patentable invention. Mere admixture is not patent. But when you put two things together, and when you have a surprisingly new beneficial thing. Okay, now, I think I come there. Do you identify that product there? Here on the left. Do you figure out what is it? Huh? Tell me loud here. You figure out what is it? No. Actually, if I put it in a South African classroom, everybody will identify that product. Hey, what does it look like? What does it look like? What does it look like? No. Actually, let me tell you. I'm going to explain. I'm just trying to understand whether my pictures convey to the audience what I wanted to convey. It is actually a feedback I'm trying to take from you. Any idea, any clue? What does it look like here? It sprays, you are right. I'm glad. There is some conveyed which is right actually. Now what does it look like? Only the first one. Huh? Syringe is actually yes, because that picture is the dead giveaway. What does it look like? No. Huh? No. Sorry, don't worry. I'm happy. Don't worry. That means I haven't put a picture which is received well by all of you. Or what do you think it looks like? Last, I'm asking you. Appa. Thank you very, very much, my friend. That is what I wanted to convey. That you haven't heard him? That is why it is important that all of you should speak loud. In my class. Actually, it is an umbrella. And India is being projected as one of the most unfriendly, uncivilized country when it comes to the treatment of women. Aren't we right? If it is really so, you would have identified this product. If I show it in a South African classroom, quite possible 3 or 4 people will pull out, sir, here it is. They all, you know what? A very interesting product. This thing is pepper spray container. And this thing is the release mechanism. Now when you press it, if somebody misbehaves with you, stunts it. And that pepper spray has got what you call as indelible dyes on it. It doesn't go away from the body unless you go to a doctor. But when you go to the doctor, he'll hand you over to the cops. It's very popular in South America. Okay? So in other words, have you heard of pepper spray? One of the Andhra MPs made it very popular, You know who is that gentleman? Huh? You are right. He took it to the parliament, you remember? I think was it Subramanian Reddy? I don't know. Whoever, doesn't matter. Okay, right. He took it to the parliament, okay. Now, I will always ask you, hey, if you have to carry a gun or a knife to your work spot, would you like that job here? No way. But if you are a cop, you better. There is no choice, isn't it? Actually, sometimes, anyway, point I'm trying to impress upon is, a very popular product in South Africa, where the crime rate is very, very high. All the cricketing, all the tourists are warned. You are not supposed to go out except unaccompanied by our people. And every time the test playing countries, Indians, Pakistanis, go there. They like our nightlives are relatively easy, We go out and they all get mugged. Okay? And violence on women is much more in Africa than in India, actually. So almost all women, but you have no problem carrying an umbrella to your work spot, right? You will have no problem, right? It's a normal thing. And it is an umbrella and a pepper spray canister. Now my question is this patentable? Huh? No? Okay, right. But the clue lies here. Each functioning independently of one another. This damn thing is not working, yeah. Now you look at this. That is why I put the umbrella there in the bottom. Even though it doesn't look like an umbrella, don't question it is umbrella. Okay, eh? Right. The center stem doesn't go to the very top. And there are 3 specially positioned fan blades. They are folded when the umbrella is closed. When the umbrella is open, it gets in position like this. And when you press that switch, you have a fan. Is it patentable? Now, please go back. And here, this is a train, and that is a telephone. For a guard to communicate with the engine driver, who may be about 1 or 2 kilometers behind the driver, it's good. Somebody, telephone is known, train is known. Somebody puts it for the first time in a train. Is it patentable? Arrangement, rearrangement, duplication of known devices, each functioning independently of one another. Now my question is this patentable? No, because you can either use it as an umbrella or you can use it as a pepper spray. Here, you can either use it as a train or use it as a telephone. What about this? Why it is patentable? Unless the umbrella is open, the fan cannot function. So they don't work independently. They work dependently. So that is the clue. You understand? Okay, method of agriculture and horticulture. Not patentable. Process for medicinal, surgical, can you read it? I have not asked you questions here, have I? Not yet, yes. Read this and I have begun with him. I'm not going to ask you a question. You gave the best answer for the class. Thanks for identifying that. Huh? Read it here. Sorry. No way. Done. Done. I ask you a question. Is baldness a disease here? Baldness. You understand, you know? Not a disease. Don't you think it is highly male-specific condition? How many female balds you see? Do you? You don't. And if you see them, you know what is the situation? It will be a drug-induced alopecia. Isn't it? So baldness, why is it only a male-specific condition and females don't have it? X chromosome doesn't have the baldness gene. Y chromosome has. So if we have a Y chromosome, it's quite possible. Okay. Does baldness or having more hair increases the man's marketability in any... What if you are a cinema actor? This is a very important question, yeah? Vijay Mallya has got hair. Amitabh Bachchan has hair. You know what is the difference? Amitabh Bachchan is a wig. Vijay Mallya is natural hair. Is it really natural hair? Very interesting question. You know, hair grows in many parts. It grows on your face. It grows on your armpits. It grows all over your body if you're a man. Some people have more, some people have less, and that's all there. So what the doctor does is, he collects follicles from different parts of your body. But when you collect follicle from hand, the space between two hair strands is very high, even if you keep it here. So what that guy tries to do is to shrink the distance between the follicles. He collects your hairs in unseen places and reduces the difference between the follicle, keeps it in the front part and puts it. It's called follicle transplant surgery. And thereafter he gives you a bill depending on the number of square centimeters he has planted on your head. Australia is the best place to have it done. Ahmedabad, Madurai, there are specialist doctors only for that actually, who focus only that. And it's about the average cost is about 3 to 5 lakhs. But the advantage is, it is natural hair. You can go to a hairdresser and say, cut my hair. In a normal situation, he will ask me, what is there to cut? So in order to avoid that, we have this. Okay. So is this patentable here? Follicle transplant surgery. No? Is it a treatment? That's why I asked you the first question, is it a disease? I want to ask you one more. Is pregnancy a disease here? Then contraceptive, is it a medicine? If it is not a disease, contraceptive is for the prevention of pregnancy. You know there are plenty of patents on contraceptives. If it is, I am only asking you whether it's not a disease. It's a natural condition of a body, healthy body actually. In other words, okay. Is this patentable? No, it is patentable. See, make a distinction between in vitro treatment and in vivo treatment. What does it mean? Vivo means happens inside. That is not patentable. Vitro is what happens outside. Extraction of the hair, reducing the distance between follicles. Okay? That is a patentable invention. And the next one here is, I'm not going to focus more. We're going to have a special lecture on this. Plant varieties protection. If it is, where is your timetable? If it is not now in this contact seminar, it will come in the next one. Okay? In fact, this is a case I did. I appeared as a lawyer in this, and somebody comes up with a flower where we print messages on flower without causing surface or cellular damages. Okay. This was held as non-patentable, but we filed an appeal and make sure that it is patentable. Because the invention is not claimed in respect of a plant or a part of the plant. The invention is claimed for a process where I print a message on an organic material without causing surface or cellular damage actually. Okay, this, we're going to have separate lectures on it as script, and this is not patentable. You know why? Why? Okay. Right. Mere scheme, method of performing mental act, method of playing a game. I think I'm coming to there. How many are the cricketers here? No cricketer? Is there a cricketer here? That's an interesting class. I have never encountered any one class in India where people are not interested in cricket here. Have you heard something called reverse swing? Anyway, if you don't understand cricket, it will not make sense to you. So, reverse swing, what is it actually? What you are talking about is outswing and inswing. Don't worry. Not at all that. Very simple here. I'll tell you some basics of cricket, or anyway, chalo, we are going to the tea time is there. All the crowd will be there and I want to be the first to hit there actually. Okay. There are two ways of making a ball change its direction. One, it changes the direction when it is in the air before pitching. That is called swing. After pitching, it turns. It is called what? Spin. That's why it's very important for you to understand cricket, for you to appreciate this patenting illustration. Okay. Old ball spins. New ball swings. It is difficult to spin a new ball and it is difficult to swing a old ball. Pakistanis invented this reverse swing. They ensured, cricket ball has two sides. They ensured that in the first 45 overs, only one side of the ball hits the earth. So that gets old. The other side remains new. So when they get it on the 45th over, they make the ball swing. But now the rules have changed. Ball is changed at the 35th over now. But the point is, Pakistan has invented this, and the score between India and Pakistan had won more number of matches actually. The reason is reverse swing. Imran Khan invented it, Wasim Akram perfected it actually. And Indians, whenever in the 45th over, Sachin will be batting 95, he gets out. 47th over, all out. India snatched the defeat from this loss of victory will be the newsline the next day actually. Okay. And for example, you play with black in chess. If you draw, it is considered a win. Because the natural chess players, if there is anyway method of playing a game is not patentable. Traditional knowledge is not patentable. A topography of integrated circuit, not patentable. And that's it. We'll have a cup of tea and get back to the